So today I'll be discussing about the deck crane. So in this visualization, you can see the various parts of the deck crane. So I'll be discussing about the major parts and as well as the other parts such as the cargo blocks, the cargo runner, the hydraulic motor, the head block, the jib. So let's proceed with the foundation base. So here is the foundation base, and this is actually just the main base of the whole crane housing. Wherein this is actually fully welded at the ship's main deck. Next is the fixed pedestal. The fixed pedestal is actually the housing of the crane, located below the upper housing. So next is the slew ring connector. So this is the slew ring connector. So the slew ring connector is the ring inside the cargo crane at the rotating tunnel. And the rotating tunnel is actually the upper housing of the crane that can be rotated in a 360-degree motion to maneuver the jib. So this is the jib, and the rotating tunnel is used in order for you to rotate or maneuver the jib to any direction where you want it to be. Next is the hydraulic motor. This is actually inside the crane, and this is the machine that makes the wire drums run inside the crane. Basically, the hydraulic motor moves all the movable parts of the crane, such as the wire drums and the rotating tunnel. So the other parts of the crane that moves is actually not moved by the hydraulic motor, but by the wires here, such as the luffing wires and the cargo runner. So these are not moved by the hydraulic motor. Next is the operator's cabin. So basically that's what it looks like. And this is actually the place where the stevedore is, or the crane operator stays to control the full parts of the crane. Next is the jib. So the jib is actually the arm that moves up and down with the use of the luffing wires. Next is the pulleys. So the pulleys or the rollers, these are actually here. These are the rollers fixed at the top of the crane. So this serves as a guide for the luffing wires back to the luffing rollers at the end of the jib. So this serves as a guide for where these luffing wires will go. So here, the luffing wires. So these are the wires that you can see here. And this is used to move the jib in an up and down motion. Next is the luffing pulley. So the luffing pulley, this is actually the rollers where the luffing wire runs, and is actually used by the luffing wires as a guide to where it will proceed. Next is the hoisting pulley. So here is the hoisting pulley. So this is actually the rollers where the cargo runners on cargo runner on hoisting wire runs as a guide. So this serves as a guide to where it will proceed to the cargo runner. Next is the cargo runner. The cargo runner is actually the wire that is used to hoist or lower the cargo block. This is the cargo block. So that is used by the cargo block for it to be lowered down. Next is the cargo block. So the cargo block basically is the casing of the roller inside the block. And lastly is the cargo hook. So the cargo hook simply is just the equipment at the bottom of the cargo block, which secures or hooks any cargo sling and serves as a grab to load and unload any cargo. So if you can see here, these are the different types of the deck crane that you can see when you go on board a vessel.
This is Dan Jasper Bravo. I'm going to report hydraulic motor. In many cases, it may be preferable to drive the propeller shaft by means of a hydraulic motor, instead of using the conventional setup of engine and gearbox. Let's see how it works. A hydraulic vane pump is fitted to the engine in the place of the gearbox. This pump draws hydraulic fluid from a storage tank and delivers it under pressure to the speed and direction control valve. The control valve determines the direction and volume of hydraulic flow to the hydraulic vane motor, which can then rotate clockwise or counterclockwise as selected. This hydraulic motor drives the propeller shaft via a flexible coupling. The VETA systems use a hydraulic pump and motor with fixed swept volumes. The transmission ratios or reduction in the propulsion system are achieved by the difference in volume between the vane pump and the hydraulic motor.
I'm REDUBLA, and top parts of a SANTOS is head blocks. Head block is the cargo runner is led to the cargo through the head blocks, which is located at the top of the bottom, applying power by alternating the direction of pull easier with the block, and the line led over the shape. It becomes a tackle when used it with the line and another block, increasing the power given the hauling part.
So I'm going to discuss the jib crane. The jib crane or jib arm is a horizontal or beam used in many types of crane to support the load clear of the main support. Usually, jib arm are attached to a vertical mast or tower or sometimes to an inclined beam. It is a type of overhead lifting device that often used in a smaller work cell area for unique lifting tasks. Jib cranes are extremely versatile and can also be paired with overhead bridge cranes to maximize the production.
What is cargo block? Cargo block is a casing of the roller inside the block. Cargo block is the block shackled into the head of the boom through which the cargo runner leads.